me and my wife didn't stop going into chillers, dog. We don't go out. That's probably why you don't see it.
Yeah. I'm seeing in the hallway. I haven't had a chance to really dive deep into this, but you might have more information on this, Brad. That they caught the guy, and he's allegedly a Republican. And I don't know if y'all remember what I said yesterday. Wouldn't it be crazy? Or day before yesterday, I said, wouldn't it be crazy if it was like a person like that was anti-Trump Republican type of dude that did it? But I'm not sure if he's a Republican or not. This is what I'm seeing in the hallway.
Yeah, so it appears he's registered as an independent. He didn't like Charlie Kirk from some of this stuff because, like, you know, the internet. You are not safe in the internet. But he apparently did not like Trump, did not like Charlie Kirk, believed that fascism. He was registered as an independent. His parents, however, were Republican. So maybe that's where people are getting the constructs mixed. But so far, he was raised by Republicans, you know, normal town. I would say that he got more radicalized off the internet. I would say this is something that people are not willing to accept, that their kids, especially, you know, kids, cannot take a simple conversation, and they are more radicalized on the device in their hand rather than the actually just sitting down and having a discussion. But what I find ironic was Thomas and Montel and Marshall and whoever else on here, and I'm not making comparisons because none of them are on the same playing field. But what I find historically comparable is Charlie Kirk never espoused violence. He never said, hey, I want to shoot people, I want them dead. He never wished harm on anybody. He would talk about stats. Sometimes he didn't like them. Sometimes his stats were wrong. Sometimes he just said flat out bullshit. And other times he said truth. But what I find weird is people like Malcolm X. He said facts. He brought interpretations. Sometimes he said bullshit. Martin Luther King, same thing. You can even go to like Jesus Christ. Like all these people, just for speaking words, have been killed because of a fear of those words. And it's weird when I look through history of famous speakers and philosophers and people, and then I'm not putting Charlie Kirk in the same cabinet, but it seems that every time a peaceful approach is used to invoke an awakening, to evoke a change in heart, there's a violent reprisal. And it's always by those who are claiming the other is some sort of tyranny, some sort of contamination, some sort of infection onto the populace of the mind, and that they are saving the world. That's what each of these killers believes. It's just weird that we don't sit there and actually say, hey, hold on a moment. Why are we afraid of words? And what examples are we doing? And why are we allowing idiots like this to fester in the universe? But I don't know, Thomas. You were partially right. I'll give you that.
I appreciate it. And here's the thing. I want people to know I still want his head cut off. This doesn't change anything. I still want his head cut off. Okay? I know they're going to be seeking the death penalty like they said. Yes, cut this nigga's head off. He's got to go. He's got to go. But to your point, right, about the radicalization, this is what I was talking about before. Remember, I was talking about the social media thing and parents having, control of what their children are looking at. Because you're right, especially in this day and age, we have the internet gives our children so much access to things. And without proper supervision, we see this type of radicalization. Because, again, someone deciding to get a gun and kill somebody because they simply disagree with the rhetoric is something that should not be tolerated, number one. Number two, shows there's some type of mental instability, and that you're probably not fit to be with society, and you need to go, meet whoever it is that you decide that you want to pray to. You gotta go.
That's freaking crazy. Montel or Tio, what are you guys?
I was trying to catch on to what y'all was saying, but just to speak on what I think, I don't think he deserved to die. No, I don't think nobody deserved to die over Riddick. But if somebody's gonna have a sympathy tier for someone that says things that he said, no, because I don't even like anybody that spews hate and different things like that. I watch a lot of his stuff the past couple of years, and different things happen, debates he does and stuff like that. So I'm not one of the people that would see clips. I've been watching him for a minute. He's going to the campus and stuff like that or whatever. That just some comments he said, it was just like, fuck no. But him deserve to die? No. But I don't believe in that. I think that people need to get back to how what Dave Chappelle he said in the stand-up show back in 2003. I think it was Killing Me Softly or something like that.
Dave Chappelle, yeah. Dave Chappelle told me something.
Yeah, he said, one thing about white people I realized, they never talk about politics. He said, I was talking to the dude. He was like, so who you voting for? He said, bro, I'm trying to take my fucking my wife and you want to talk about politics? It's like, I think we need to get back to a time where people didn't talk about a lot of shit that they talk about and start treating each other as normal people. Because today, like, people are now, it's like something my homie had a conversation with. When people have a basic level conversation about something, everybody's good. When you get into detail and different things like that or whatever, then that's when shit starts to actually fucking get people who start arguing and different things like that. Because people have major disagreements and different things like that. Definitely kind of politics and different political views and different things like that. But it's just not respectful anymore, I'm saying. You feel me? Just two things. He said something about women. He said that if a woman is drunk and she gives consent before they have sex or while they're having sex, she should not be able to take consent back. That's wild. Another one is Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday. That's it. There's a lot of things he has said as I watch and stuff like that, but just those two things, just alone, it's like kind of fucking wild. Or when he was on stage, he called this Asian dude a chink. It's like I said, no one deserves to die over words and shit like that, but personally, it's like the spirit.
That's one of the worst things about social media, and I say that respectfully, man. It's just that people will hear clips and not understand context. When Charlie Kirk, let's just talk about the whole like consent thing. What Charlie Kirk was talking about is retroactively saying I'm taking back consent once the deed is done. So if I go and have sex with a girl, right, and that day later the girl's like, you know what, I don't like how he's treating me afterwards, so I'm gonna retract my consent and say that he raped me. I agree. You should not be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he's not talking about like while a guy is having sex with her, and she says, "Oh, I don't want to have sex with you anymore." He's like, "No, I'm gonna keep doing it." I didn't hear him say it together. I heard.
I realized I'm not gonna say I was a Charlie Kirk fan or whatever.
Somewhat.
But I watched a lot of his stuff.
Authoritarian in somewhat.
I've been watching for the past couple of
Not
years.
very happy about
With
Roman occupation.
Debates.
Also, someplace. Yeah, I gotta see that because you're saying it to me because I saw when I was talking. This is a couple years ago actually. So I'm not gonna say I can recite it verbatim, but I do not remember that section where he said if they are engaging in sex and she says, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore," for him to continue to force on her. I don't remember him saying that. What I remember him saying was if she retroactively retracts consent after the sexual situation, then that is like, you shouldn't be able to do that.
Like, I'm not saying he did say it. He did say that.
Okay.
Because he did say it. So your memory's not wrong. He did say that, but when they got deeper into the argument, every time he gets mad up and he goes deeper into a hole, and you just be like,
if he said that was appalling. If he said that, I can if he said that, that's appalling. I agree.
But again, so that we could just hear it because I don't mind.
I gotta find it. I gotta find it real quick.
I know like I actually went and looked this up. So the guy's name was Chink. Like I don't know how to say it otherwise. Like it just is his name. Like I mean there are
really?
Yeah. Like I've met some weird names in my life. I was in the military, Navy. There's some weird names out there, man. Some of you should think about your names on your kids. Like, you especially the military, we are going to go after them. Like, I got nicknamed Al for the longest fucking time. Like, we're just brutal on that shit. So, like, think about your kids when you're naming them, because their life choices are going to have direct consequences in relation just to their fucking name. So, but yeah, I believe that the guy's name was actually changed. Like, that's literally, I don't know how it was spelled, but it was literally the guy's name. So he was addressing him by his name. So, I mean, I get your point in the vernacular and the slur, but if it's the guy's name, like, what did you want him to do? Sorry, I can't call you this. I have to call you, my Asian American. Like, I don't know. I feel a certain way. But again, if you have the clips and you have the evidence, we can go through and do a deep dive and listen to the context and kind of gauge what was there.
I should have said it because I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hop in a room like this later because I'm in New York right now, New York Fashion Week. So I'm in my hotel trying to charge our phone before I go to the next fashion show. So I
was he talking to Chink Uger from the TYT?
I think, wasn't that the one he was talking to?
Because the only person, because I know that the TYT guy is Chink. Like, that's his name, Chink Uger.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I gotta go back and look at it, bro.
But to the whole thing about, like, yeah, it's messed up that the guy died for his opinions, regardless of, how you felt about his opinions. Like, and then, like, there's a lot of people online saying, F having sympathy for him, F having empathy for the guy. And my thing is, you don't have to have sympathy or empathy for the guy, but at the very least, you don't have to celebrate the guy dead.
Absolutely.
You can at least have an iota of human decency for human life, period, regardless if you agree or disagree. Because pretty much, if that thing comes back around and gets pointed back at you, would you expect people to, would you be okay with people feeling the same way about you? Saying F you, F your sympathy, and just be celebrating if it was you. So,
what was your question? I knew it was something, but I know it was a joke.
Oh no, pretty much like if the role was the other way around, with the people celebrating his death, like would you want people celebrating your death? Would you?
I mean, to be honest, if you was an asshole or something like that, I think a lot of times people expect a person to be like that. You gotta realize, think of a person that knows he gonna get hit in the mouth and shit like that for talking shit to people. If I walk in a room,
getting punched in the mouth and getting your ass beat is not the same.
But I'm saying is, if you know, but this thing's similar because you never know what's gonna happen. You feel me?
That's true.
Because I'm just saying is if I know I'm an asshole, I know I talk shit and shit like that. A lot of times I'm not gonna say no. I know I'm not gonna get killed. I might get my ass kicked. You just never know what another person's going to do in general. So it's like if you carry that type of spirit, it's the energy and different things like that. So if you talk like that and walk like that, more likely if you grew up in certain neighborhoods that people operate like that all the time, then it's like there's a possibility that you're going to get your ass kicked or get shot.
Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. I get what you're saying. With that being said, again, I don't agree with like what happened, but let me read what our dear good brother Dr. Umar Johnson said.
He didn't agree with it.
Yeah, he says, while I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and considered him, this is the most pro-black nigga we got. Well, I did not agree with Mr. Kirk's rhetoric and considered him to be an anti-black bigot. I will never rejoice at the loss of life of anyone who has not directly participated in the unaliving of a member of the black African race. I am ashamed to see members of my community celebrating this situation. I will never ask you to mourn the loss of an enemy of our race, but to celebrate an unaliving is completely unacceptable. We know all too well that the greatest recipients of political assassinations in this country have been our own people. Stop laughing at the misfortunes of others and get prepared. Political assassinations have returned to the United States of America courtesy of the deep state. So yeah, even this brother here, okay, the most militant pro-black brother we may have, okay, at least that has this type of clout, all right, is saying that he finds it disgusting to celebrate the destruction.
Even white people are saying they don't agree with everything I just said. You feel me? Like they don't agree with him dying and shit like that or whatever. You feel me? Go to the comments, different things like that. I'm seeing more white liberals that's like, fuck yeah, yeah. It's like I'm seeing more of that. But you see social media on the other side saying black people are happy that he died. I'm like, what? It feels like when I'm at a job and me and his white dude working, we do the same goddamn job.
Bitcoin hit another all-time high. Cue headlines, cue the panic buys.
It's like,
if they do indeed cut next week, and it seems highly
Look,
likely
this
they
is the
will.
thing,
It's
though. You may not
their
see
message
it.
that
You may not see it.
yeah, we have the 2% inflation target.
You may not see it, but I have seen it. And I'm like, in my opinion, that
I
shit is.
remember I said I didn't say I didn't see it.
Okay.
I
But it's either way, it's uncalled for because like because the whole point of the guy was like debate him on stuff that he prove him wrong. That was his thing. Prove him wrong. And in my opinion, at least when it came to racial topics, 99% of the time, his opinion, I feel like he had the thing that he is seeing is correct, but the other stuff was completely wrong, in my opinion. And I wish somebody who was more educated in these subjects had the opportunity to debate him on those subjects. Because, like, even like how Brad said earlier, sometimes the statistics he used was just flat out wrong. It's just straight up wrong. And the people that he's debating, they don't know this stuff because they're not, they're not real versed in this stuff. And I just wish he had the opportunity to debate somebody on those topics who actually know what they're talking about, and possibly, you know what I'm saying. And let's see where we go from there. And let's see if he's really like when he's recruited with facts. That's like proven facts to your face. Will your mind really be changed, or you gonna continue to say the things that just straight up not true?
Yeah, but it also was like this. Someone said that in another room. They said they're not blaming white people for shit. I'm like, shit. Hey, in OC right now, they marching saying, "White man fight back. White man fight back." We didn't do the shooting. Another white man shot you. It's like, fight back. Who are you fighting back? The government. Who are you gonna fight back?
I agree, that's crazy.
That's crazy because we didn't do shit. We just sitting there like, hey, yo. So don't get mad at the person that pulled the trigger.
But you gotta look at it like this though, man. Some people in this world are just hateful people, and when you have something that angers hateful people look for reasons to hate and to be hateful towards others. So some people, this is just an excuse to do some of the things they wanted to do anyway.
I ain't thinking of it like that, but yeah, you're right. You know what? I'll take it back. I'm always trying to think PG. So yeah, you're right. 100%.
And I was going to add into that white men fight back. Yeah, I've heard about this a couple of times. It's been rising up through certain groups. I'm not really behind any of that shit because I think it's like, I'm going to be honest, I think it's retarded. But it was actually coming off of the backs of the girl that was stabbed in the subway. That's where it was kind of getting its forecast from, and the lack of the media coverage and people saying who gives a shit, it's just a white girl. But yeah, other people were saying, well, but we're out in the streets protesting the minute a black person it would have been done this way. So they were saying it's time for white men to fight back, and that was the crux of that. Or I guess I would say the genesis, the start of that. Charlie Kirk just seemed to envelop that. And that's
yeah, and I agree with the white girl and stuff like that, right? It's just like that did happen and stuff like that. But with Charlie Kirk, it's like, who the fuck you fighting back? Because it ain't a black man that did it. It's like it feels like I'm back at a job or whatever. When, like I said before, I get crucified. I do the same thing the white dude did. And the white dude gets a pat in the back or just like, oh, just do this. I'm like the fuck? Explain the white dude that actually pulled the trigger. Not the black dude that's saying, I don't give a fuck.
So maybe many of you don't know this. So a few weeks ago, I was introduced to Telegram and introduced to a whole web, and I've been waiting to do a whole expose on this. And who knows? Maybe I'll get shot before I get to release this, or maybe I'll get shot while talking it. At this point, because that's how we do with it. When people want to talk about subjects that are sensitive to others, we're just going to shoot them from now on, or stab them, or do something. But And she's like,
that never works. That's a practical. Like that's how World War II ended.
White man,
It was unconditional surrender.
or white man talking, or white man push. And I'm going to tell you,
Fantasy. I'm like,
when this event happened, I'm pretty sure Thomas and many others in the room heard me. I say that this is not going to be, this should not be a race war. You need to stop it. It doesn't need to be racialized. It doesn't need to go through a racial lens. I did my little part. I'm nobody. I'm insignificant. Nobody matters. If I died tomorrow, nobody would remember my name. I am on a monument, though. Fucking A, I got that one in stone. But I'm telling you this, I could care less. I had a good life. But this part, motherfuckers like are starting this and saying this, and they're getting angrier. Like I'm not talking like white supremacist, white Ku Klux Klan kind of thing. These motherfuckers aren't going to Target to buy bed sheets and put little fucking crosses on them and buy tiki torches. These aren't those guys. And when you try to make them those guys, they're going to get even more violent, and you're going to end up looking stupid and proving wrong, and it's just constantly going down this track, because that's all the left really has, is to say that these guys are they're white supremacists for standing up for it. They're just tired of being condemned for everything that's wrong. These guys are just like regular white kids, 18 to 30. They're white kids. They're tired of being blamed. They're like, I wasn't even fucking a sperm cell in my daddy's nutsack when all of you had these problems, and now I have to answer for it. They're looking at the way that they're told. They went through, Robin DiAngelo's and many others, white guilt, and you need to be ashamed for being born white. You have all this stuff, and they're looking at the struggles, their impoverishment, the fact that they're poor, the fact that they watch the greatest wealth transfer amongst in an entire lifetime occur under the pandemic. They're watching that their families and their parents aren't leaving the world a better place. They don't have very much to go forward, and they're tired of like the duplicity in media, which, you know what, black people had it right. There was fucking bias and resentment in there, but the same sense is, wait a minute, we're not doing this as white men, but now black men can go out here and create a riot and then avoid trouble. But if white men do it, it's a Klan rally. They're racist and all this. They're getting mad at the hypocrisy, because now you got a new generation.
But Brad, see, that's where the misinformation comes from. I keep hearing like a white dude say, they would think a black dude do something, he gets off. Like, no, people are going to jail, dead ass, for even the smallest shit, especially in LA. Even these you see riots and shit like that. These people got charged a lot of times. The ones that did not get sent charged, just like my mentor, he did not get charged. He was doing a lot of crazy ass shit. He's a white dude. He got stuck on the wrist. I think it's a lot of just misinformation. It's also parenting when it comes to talking about race at a young child, at a young age. I think that even for this both sides, it's not just on the white side. White people, this is for black people and white people. People, when they talk about race,
I agree with you. I agree with you. There is an old man on here who goes by Alan Dean, and this fucking crotchety fucking retard from fucking California, who is a conservative for a whopping total of 2 seconds, said yesterday that Trayvon deserved what he got because he was in the wrong fucking neighborhood. Like, I'm all with you. Let's go shoulder to shoulder and let's start dropping him in the volcano. Like, I'm good.